Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on the makeup that I'm wearing right now. This is quite similar to the makeup that I was wearing in my Morphe brushes unboxing, but I had different lashes on and I also had some winged eyeliner on as well. I wanted to do a halo smoky eye. I've never really done halo smoky eyes before until recently, and I've actually really liked them. I feel like this is a look that would suit a lot of different eye shapes. If you've got hooded eyes, you just keep it onto the outside and inside and just avoid your crease, and I think it would just look so nice. It's quite easy to do. I do think that having quite a few blending brushes, especially some clean blending brushes just to blend out any edges, is definitely something that makes it a lot easier to do. I used my Morphe brushes for the first time in this tutorial, and having extra brushes I just feel like has made the look come together so much more. If there's any other makeup tutorials that you want me to do, just let me know in the comments down below and I can do that for you. So if you want to find out how to do this makeup, then please keep watching. So to start off this makeup look, I'm just going to begin by priming my eyes. If you watch my videos, you'll know that this is something that I always have to do. It just helps the shadows blend so much better and it gets rid of any redness in my eyes. I'm also going to blend that out with my Beauty Blender sponge, my Lab Squared one, which I've been loving. Then I'm just going to take some loose powder and just pack it on just to help set the concealer, and again just to help my eyeshadows blend really nicely. So I'm going to use my Z palette and my Morphe brushes, which I'm so excited to use. And the first colour I'm using is Creme Brule by Makeup Geek on the Morphe E28. And what I'm doing is I'm putting this in my crease, but I'm putting it right to the inner corner. This is something that I wouldn't normally do, but for this tutorial I'm going to be doing it. So I just want to get a nice wash of colour on the inner and outer portions of my eye, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up with some darker shadows. I did really like this brush for this part. It just blended the colour so nicely. And then I'm going to take Peach Smoothie and my Lauren Luke big fluffy brush just to help blend out the edges so that there's no harsh lines. I feel like the key to this look is just a lot of blending, so you'll see me going backwards and forwards with a lot of brushes that I've already used and the same colours. So now I'm taking the Morphe M505 and Frappe by Makeup Geek, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the Peach Smoothie, keeping it on the outer and inner corner of my eye. I'm just avoiding the centre part of my eyelid. I'm now just going back in with that E28 and the Lauren Luke big fluffy brush just to again help blending lines. I don't want any harsh lines, I just blend until your arm gets sore. I'm now taking Coco Bear by Makeup Geek on my Morphe M518, and I'm again doing the exact same thing. With each darker colour I get, and I also put myself in the eye, with each darker colour I get closer to the inner corner and the outer corner of my eye, still avoiding that centre part of my eyelid because I want that bit to be the brightest. And as you can see, I'm going back with a brush that I've used before, and I'm not putting any extra pigment on these, I'm just using them to help me blend. I'm now taking my Morphe M514 and Cherry Cola by Makeup Geek and doing the exact same thing. Again, keeping it right into the inner corner and right into the outer corner of my eye. I just want to keep it as like a ombre from the outer and inner corner into the centre. So I'm just going to go in with a bit at a time and just keep blending it. Don't worry if it gets a little bit messy in the middle, because we will be sort of sorting that out later on. So it wasn't as dark as what I wanted it to be, so I'm just taking a pencil brush and going back in with that Cherry Cola just to deepen up the colour to get it to the intensity that I want, and then just using the same brush to blend, and I just keep going backwards and forwards with the same brushes and just keep blending. Then to brighten up the centre part of my eyelid, I'm just taking a white eyeliner. You can use any white eyeliner just as long as it's fairly creamy. This is by NARS. And then I'm going to take a stiff brush, this is by Real Techniques, just to help buff it out a little bit. Then for my lid colour I'm going to use Phloof by MAC on a MAC 242 brush, and I'm just going to pack it on to the centre of my eye. It will look pretty odd at first, but once we've blended it all, it will come together so much better. So you just want to keep going backwards and forwards with the brushes that you've been using, just keep blending. If you want to make the darker colour more intense like I do, then just get more pigment and just keep blending. That's all you need to do, and you'll just find that it just comes together so much more. I really do think that it's worth having quite a few blending brushes, especially clean ones, and it just helps. I also packed a little bit of the centre colour on with my finger just to get a little bit more pigment, and I am still going in and I'll just keep blending. I just wanted to make the centre pop a little bit more, so I took my Urban Decay highlighter in Sin and just packed a bit on, and then I'm gonna blend some more. This is basically what I spend a lot of time doing. Then once you're happy with how your eyes look, just clean up anything underneath and then just blend more if you need to. And then I'm just taking MAC Smolder eye pencil and just tight lining my eyes. Then I'm going to curl my eyelashes and apply some of my L'Oreal mascara. This is my favourite mascara, I just absolutely love it. For eyelashes, I really couldn't decide which ones I wanted to use. The ones on the right are LA Splash Clubbing eyelashes, and then the ones on the left are the Ardell Demi Whispies, I think. I decided to go for the Ardell Demi Wispy, so I just quickly popped them on off camera, and then I'm just putting some mascara on to help them blend. Then I'm going to move on to my face. I'm going to moisturise with some Garnier Moisturiser, and then I'm going to use the Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm to prime. And for my foundation, I'm going to use the Bourjois 123 Perfect Foundation. This is in the colour 54, I believe. I'll have it listed in the description box, and I'm just blending that in with my Lab Squared sponge. I really wanted to make my under eyes bright, so I'm going to mix some of the Body Shop Whitening Drops with my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer just to help lighten it up a bit more. And I'm going to be putting it on an upside triangle under my eyes, and then I'm going to put some down the centre of my nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and between my eyebrows, and then just blend that out with my Beauty Blender sponge. I don't know how many times I've said blend in this tutorial. Then I'm just taking a angled brush and the contour shade from the L'Oreal Infallible Sculpt Contour Palette, and I'm just going to only slightly contour my nose. I just wanted quite a defined sort of face for this tutorial, as I felt like the eyes were quite heavy. So I'm just blending, obviously, with my Lab Squared sponge, and just taking the flat foundation brush I used for my concealer just to help lighten it up a bit. Then I'm going to bake. I'm going to bake my skin quite heavily, as you'll see in a few minutes or seconds. I'm just using the Artiste brush dupe that I've got. I did a whole video on this, which I'll link down below, and I'm just going to pack on a lot of powder. And then going to use my L'Oreal contour palette again and my Lauren Look foundation brush just to help sculpt out my cheekbones, make them pop a little bit more, because they really don't without it, and also put a little bit on my forehead. Then just to contour even more, I'm going to take my Sleek Face Contour Palette. I'm just going to help define that more with some more baking, and I'll also bake my chin because that's just what people seem to do. So I'm just filling in my eyebrows. I've done a whole video on this, so again I'll link it down below, but I'm using the Freedom Brow Duo in the colour Taupe and my new Morphe brush. I mentioned at the end of this video that I did really like it for my eyebrows, but only for the front part. For the rest of my eyebrows I just felt like it just took too long. To set them in place, I'm just using the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper. This is in the shade Medium Dark. And I'm just going to brush away all that baking, and then just help sort of blend out the contour again. So now I'm just getting rid of all the powder from under my eyes as well. I'm going to start by using a fan brush, and then I go in with a slightly smaller brush just to help get any powder away. Then for my bottom lash line, I'm first going to coat my waterline in the MAC Smolder Eye Kohl again, as I did in my tight line. I just feel like this look just looks so much more dramatic with it. And I'm just taking a pencil brush and a little bit of Frappe by Makeup Geek just to help blend that black in. And then I'm also going to take Cherry Cola on the pencil brush I used before, and I'm going to put it in the outer and inner corner of my lower lash line. And then taking the MAC 242 brush, and I just popped a little bit of Phloof on the centre of my bottom lash line. Unfortunately it wasn't in shot when I did it. Then for my blusher I'm just using this L'Oreal blush, and then I'm going to highlight. I was really excited for this part because I really wanted to use my Morphe M510 brush, and as you can see I do pack on a lot of highlight, but that's okay because I love highlight. I'm also going to highlight down my Cupid's bow and my nose, and then I'm going to take the MAC 242 brush just to put a little bit under my brow bone as well. Just to intensify the highlight a bit more, I will spray my brush with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus and just gently brush over it. This just makes it pop and just makes it look a little bit more wet. And then for my lips I'm going to use the Cream Stick Liner in Sublime Culture from MAC, and I'm going to slightly overdraw my lips on the Cupid's bow and the centre of the bottom and then fill them in a bit. And then for my lipstick I'm going to use my favourite combination at the moment, which is MAC Wow and MAC Myth lipstick. And then to finish off the makeup look, I'm just going to spritz my face with some MAC Fix Plus, and then I am all done. So that is the makeup all done. Just a little sort of update on my Morphe brushes. I do really like them. I think that they're worth the price that I paid for them. I wouldn't say they're the best brushes in the world because I have had a little bit of shedding. I have washed them as well before I use them, but they are still shedding a tiny bit, which doesn't really bother me that much considering I didn't pay a huge amount for them. The angled brush I thought was really good for my eyebrows. It took me a little bit longer than normal, but I like the fact that I can flick up the front of my brow, so I'll probably use it for that part, but for the rest of my eyebrows I'll stick with my MAC 266 brush. I do really want to try this for wing liner as well though, because I think that would be amazing. And all these blending brushes, it was just so nice to have loads of blending brushes to do this look with, because I always had a clean one. I mean, I ended up using all of these brushes, but I always had a clean one to go in and clean up the edges, and what I normally find is that I'll try and clean up the edges and I end up making a bit of a mess because the brush has got a lot of pigment on it, and obviously unless I cleaned it or something like that I'm not going to get it off. So I did like the fact that I had a lot of blending brushes. I do feel like it just makes it so much easier to get this look with, you know, you probably don't need as many as this. M510, which I used to put on my highlighter, I really did like this. I like the fact that it's small but big enough so I can get some precision. Sometimes when I use my fan brush I find that it just kind of goes, as I'm going like this, it's going like everywhere, and I get a little bit more of a precise line with this. I probably put a little bit too much on today, but I love my highlighter, so yes. I would highly recommend this brush. It is really good. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if there's any other makeup tutorials or anything like that you want me to do, then just leave them in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see some more videos from me, and give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!